Hello. Sir, response na hello. Right, hello. Okay, can you hear me well at the back? Okay. So, before we start, how are you guys? How's your first week? What did you get to see? The first morning of your week already. Alright, how about the foreigners? Is this your first time to be here in the Philippines? Or, so you know what I'm trying to soldiers already? Okay, I hope so. Are there any foreigners who just came in this semester? Do we have one? Ah, yeah, we have one. Hello. Alright. Okay. So, basically, before we start, okay, I would like to hear some expectations from the class on, their expectations for the visuality subject or course in medicine. For those in nursing and medtech, I believe, and biology. No, yes, biology we have female courses, no? Yes, biology, you guys already encountered, some of the topics. Don't like the sound of the microphone. But anyway, see, who has the brave soul that will raise his or her hand and share to the class. What are your expectations in visuality?
So, one of my expectations for physiology, at the end of the book, certainly, I should be able to identify the difference between the normal body and when there is an abnormality or hormone, the effect of a slight change in the body.
Okay, so she shared. Thank you, LNG. I hope I remember some of the names. Okay, as the leader, I really poor with names. Thank you, LNG, for sharing that. So knowing the normal and the slight changes that will lead to disease conditions. Like that. So how about the others? What are your expectations? You're not from Cebu. All from Cebu. Are your expectations? I'm being shallow, comprehend. Shallow. Okay, from Cebu. Okay, for my expectations for these subjects, I expect these to be very interesting, and it's also one of my favorite subjects when I was a undergraduate degree class. Yeah. Wonderful. But yeah. And I also expect that this is going to be hard. It's going to be very detailed. Okay, so I can see that you are highlighting page number 4 already. Okay? Page number 4, chapter 4. Did I chapter 1? Okay, that's read in advance, right? You should be prepared before going here in class, okay? So chapter 4 is schedule. Where are you now? Make your expectations. Well, I expect things to be interesting and medicine from another field before I go away. Oh, chapter 4, Michelle, chapter 10 na.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm expecting to read. My name is Henry Jam from Gomez. I am expecting to read, remaster, and revisit various the Bible. Yes, sir.
Learn, remaster, relearn, remaster, and revisit. Look, revisit na siya, mo. So, I want to relearn, remaster, and revisit. Okay? Physiology. Okay? Kakalating na namin po. Okay, any others you would like to share? Okay. I would like to know for me, my expectations for this batch is that it will be more interactive, you know? As much as possible, ask questions. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. And make sure that you will not leave this room na you're left with questions in mind that which will happen a lot of times. Okay, now we'll just hear in class for the attendance, whatever. But actually, I don't really care much about attendance, no? Because me, before when I was in first year, I also skipped lessons, you know? Because it's so tiring to wake up early in the morning. And our last class was like 7 p.m., no? The previous day, so sometimes I skip class. But make sure, okay, that during examinations, you'll be able, to reach your expectations. Your own expectations for your grades, okay? So I was a scholar here before in Southwestern University. So ano siya, so you really have to make sure that during exam, I'll be able to get this score to maintain my scholarship. Alright, so it's fine with me. Don't really, yeah, because sometimes there are actually people that wanted to learn more by their own self. Okay, so sayang lang if you're attending. I'm really saying the silent word, we have 4 years here. So, if you think, that studying by yourself, you can learn more, using your own time, it's fine with me, If I'm the lecturer, with Dr. Sel, I think we should already check for the attendance and some of your other professors, right? But for me, it's fine. Just make sure that you comply with all the requirements and make sure that you will pass the subject by the end of the year, right? Okay, that's the goal, right? Okay. So, right. So, not too much, okay? So basically, for the first block, we'll just be looking into each chapter. So first week, one chapter. Second week, another chapter. Okay, third week, another chapter in your book. So I think that would be chapter 1, 2, and 4. Right? So we'll be covering topics on homeostasis, cell physiology, and the brain physiology. Okay? I will give you a copy of the presentation at the end. So later, I'll just send PowerPoints to your mayor. Okay? But basically, you have your textbook, I like to feel it as a textbook, let's be when I was in first year, really buying, all the textbooks, but now you have PDF files in your tablets, and what else, your text, right? So you can, utilize, okay, whatever resources that you have, okay? So, have you read chapter 1? It's just very short. It's just a review. Revisit, okay, the basics. Right? It's just like really trying to tell you, like physiology, okay, different systems in the human body, how it works, and what's the overview, of the rest of the chapters that we will be tackling, okay, in Gaiton. So Gaiton is our reference material, that's our reference textbook. You can also read, Bernie and Debbie. Okay, are you familiar with that? I think 6th edition already, or Bernie and Debbie, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and whatever, you have from different countries, maybe you have some certain materials is at home, then you can utilize that. Okay? Are we good? Do visa for applications? For the exam, it will really be different than your college days. Okay? There will be case vignettes. Okay? It will really look into what you understand. Okay, so mga cases, certain examples. Hindi siya what is, it's not what is, diba? During our college days, okay, what is the name of the cell, the most abundant cell in the skin? Wala. Secret. Right, hindi siya, it's more on how, and it's more on why. There might be rhetorical questions, but of course, we wanted to test your memory, based on only understanding, correct? But majority of the questions will be asking on how and why. Okay? Pero since that one is just what do you call this one? Only 1 chapters per week, you should bank scores. Okay? By this first block. By second block will be in respiratory physiology. I believe that's 8 chapters. All in all for the entire block in respiratory physiology. 8 or I don't know, 8 or 10. I'm not sure now. So for that one, bank scores during your assessments. Okay? So that, sayun pa man, is still easy somehow. Right? Okay? So I'm expecting that you've already, okay, read the textbook because I'll be asking each one of you, randomly, okay, later as we go with our discussion. Alright? No. So that you have the experiences. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to meet you guys this morning because we have a meeting. I'm actually currently connected with the Department of Health Central Visayas, so we have the urgent meeting this morning, so that's why I wasn't able to meet you. No? So thank you for the time. I think you have 3 p.m. class, right? 6 then. Okay. So we are going to have module 1. Okay. I am again Dr. Margaret D. Papas. I'm actually married with 2 kids, but I'm not using the name of my husband. I'm taking my last name. I'm a registered medical technologist. I graduated here at Southwestern University, and then a registered physician, also graduated here at Southwestern University. Okay, so here are the following objectives for this afternoon. So define human physiology. Okay, so I'll ask one of you to define human physiology. But that is, describe the basic living unit of the body. What do you think that is? The basic unit. That's the cell. Don't really like the sound of the microphone. Okay. And then the term internal environment. Okay. What is that? No? Understand how the different organ systems of the body work in the concept internal environment. Okay. Then compare the feedback control systems. What are these control systems? What is that in the body? No, and explain how it works to maintain homeostasis. Okay? So, basically, physiology is science of life. Okay? And it is a broad science which aims to understand the mechanism of living. Okay? What makes the body, live, how it works to maintain life. Okay? And when it could not maintain life anymore, then that's death. Alright? Okay? So more molecular basis of cell function to the integrated behavior of the whole body. So if you scan through your textbook, okay, each of the chapters are actually, or units are divided into different organ systems. Okay? Okay? We're looking into organ system, but eventually we wanted to understand how each of these systems would connect, no, interconnect, in order for us to sit here, there, you guys, no, to have life. Okay? Why are we alive? Okay? What maintains, you know, our physical living, okay, body, right? Then it seeks to explain again the physical and chemical mechanisms. You will go deeper in biochemistry, no, cellularly, the intracellular mechanisms, biochemistry, okay? Then responsible for the origin, development, and progression of life. Okay? This is from. So human physiology attempts to explain the specific characteristics of mechanisms of the body that makes it a living being. And it is a study in how the human body works under normal conditions. Okay? You use physiology when you exercise, breathe, eat, sleep, move, whatever, or do just anything. Okay? Being here today, right? Living, okay? Studying medicine. Okay? You think there are different cells in the body organ systems, no? You're able to do that. Okay, so we have your different systems and the different organs comprising this systems. Okay? So let's move to homeostasis. What is that word? For medtex, I think you're familiar with hemostasis, which is, what is hemostasis? Stoppage. That's hemo, diba? This is homeo. But for medtex, are you familiar with the word hemostasis? Stoppage of blood flow. Ang sama yun. So, hemostasis. Natin primary and secondary hemostasis, diba? Okay. So, that's the stoppage, alright, of bleeding. Okay? With the small bleed, big bleeds, like clotting, right? But homeo, what is homeo? So Mr. Walter Cannon, which is an American physiologist, actually coined this word. Okay, a little bit of history. Coined the term homeo, okay, stasis, which is the maintenance of nearly constant conditions in the internal environment. And what is this internal environment? Also termed as the French word. We'll get into that. Okay? So all organs and tissues of the body perform functions that help mitigate these relatively constant conditions. Okay? The body, in order to operate effectively, needs to maintain these constant conditions. Alright? So various ions, okay? Nutrients, waste products, and other constituents of the body are normally regulated. Okay? It's just really the body is constant, no, our systems, our cells in the body, constant regulation, no, of these ions, the nutrients, the waste products, right? Within a range of values. Because if, for example, we go beyond, let's say for example, give me an ion, sodium, no, very common ion in the body. If we go beyond, okay, the normal levels, there's already an associated condition for that. Okay, abnormal functions will happen. Okay, and if we go down below the normal range, another condition will take place. Abnormalities, abnormal function. Okay, so muna siya, physiologists really looking into, with our system, with our body, to always be, this constant environment that we turn out the food. Alright? Okay. So homeostasis regulatory systems. What are these? We have different systems. You have here the endocrine, okay, right, system. Okay? What else? The sympathetic adrenomedullary system. Okay, the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, neuroendocrine, okay, immune system, and so much more. Okay, so we will be learning each of these as we go along as we study human physiology. Okay, so we need to understand how the body normally works. And the body will go into cellular mechanisms. Okay? Afterwards, the organ, how the organ works, how the liver works, for example, how the kidney works, for example. We will be studying that. Okay? And if not maintained, and if there is disruption in homeostasis, that is nowhere disease, okay, will take place. And you, as physicians in the future, will be treating these diseases. Then how do we treat a certain condition if we don't know how the body normally works? Right? Correct? Okay. So homeostatic mechanisms continue to operate and maintain vital functions throughout multiple compensations. So if there are any disruptions that is actually taking place in our body, it also has a mechanism to compensate. No? At a certain point, when the body cannot compensate anymore, that's where we see organ failures. Okay? And once the organ fails, if the respiratory system will fail, what will happen? Death. Right? Don't have respiratory functioning respiratory to how to breathe. We need air. We need to live. Right? Okay, so that. Right? So what are examples such as impairment of salt secretion? What happens? If salt, the extra salt, right, that we ingest through our diet, like eating a pack of potato chips, for example, okay? There are plenty of salt. What is the normal thing? What's the normal level of sodium in the body? Or you guys, the favorite of people? No, in your textbook. Yes, in the range of 45. Millimoles per liter. So, ano na siya? Imagine. Okay? And then, about the potential, how many sodium is there? Okay, diba? Sa may mga clays, particles of sugar. Okay? So how many? Diba? So we need to excrete, alright, the extra salt that is not needed in the body. Okay? So if that salt, for example, if that salt, okay, will not be secreted, right? What do you think will happen if there are extra salt in the body? So, there will be increase in blood pressure secondarily to increase in volume. Okay, because remember the saying, wherever there is salt, there is water follows. And you will learn that eventually how water actually flows out from the intracellular going to the cardiovascular system. Okay, increasing the cardiac overload. Explain later on. Okay, that's how you explain later on. Cardiac overload. Okay, and then cellular dehydration that will take place as well because the fluid or the water inside the cells will go out. Alright, so cellular dehydration, decreasing in cardiovascular volume, hypertension, increasing BP, and so much more. Okay, so those are the things that we will be studying. Sound interesting? Sounds interesting? Diba? Okay. Okay. So here, the extracellular fluid transport and mixing system. Okay? So extracellular fluid is transported through the body in two stages. Okay, what is the first stage? We're now looking into how each of the system contributes contributes, okay, to the maintenance of homeostasis. Am I correct? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So extra, again, let's go back now. So how many percent is the body comprised of water? 50 to 70, no? For the safest, 60%, but in the middle. Alright? So 50 to 70%. And it is divided. Where is the majority of the water? Intracellular or inside. No? Each cell of the body. And what is the what are the things that the first the page of your textbook? The main which cell in the body has the most number? Is the? Huh? It's there in your textbook. Millions and trillions of cells, but about like 25 trillion is RBCs or red blood cells. But then that red blood cells will actually only a few, if we compare it to the number of microorganisms that actually inhabits our body. So that's 35 trillion cells, in our body, compared to, which is a smaller number, compared to the number of microorganisms that are living inside our body. Our gut microbiota, for example. Alright, it's a lot, okay? And in our skin, even, right? In the different respiratory membranes, okay? So again, water is divided to intercellularly and extracellularly. So intercellularly, that's the word majority of the water is, and extracellularly, it is divided into, there's two, in between cells, interstitial. No, you're not there yet. Your friend is okay, so again, that's okay. Interstitial, and the other one is intravascular. Okay, that's the plasma portion, okay, of the blood, removing all the cells, so we have water, no? Majority is a plasma component. Okay. So extracellular fluid is transported to the body in two stages. So the first stage, okay, is the movement of blood through the body in the blood vessels. Okay? And the second is movement of fluid between the blood capillaries and the intercellular spaces between the tissue cells. Remember the interstitial? Okay? So from the intravascular goes to the interstitial, and from interstitial goes intracellular. Okay? So this process of diffusion is caused by kinetic motion of the molecules in both the plasma and the interstitial fluid. Okay, so the fluid and dissolved molecules, right? So when you water the molecules that goes with it, we have different nutrients and ions, glucose, oxygen, for example, where the cell needs, okay, for energy. So bouncing in all directions within the plasma and the fluid in the intercellular spaces as well as stored through the capillary pores. Okay? This is just an overview of the mechanism, because eventually, as we go each of the chapter, you can see how the process actually works. Okay, so on a expector, now before coming to class, you're able to read the chapter already. Okay? Chapter 10 na kayo ba? Right? So, finish chapter 1. Okay? And you need to have that, what we call this one, have that in place already, that because as we go to different intervascular physiology per week, I think you will be tackling 3 or more chapters per week. And in neuro, I think 4 chapters per week. Okay? So you make it a habit for everyone, okay, to read already in advance. If possible, if you could read 1 or 2 chapters in advance, the better. Okay? Can you do it? Of course. Right? You can even scroll for 1 hour with right? What's free? 1 hour of scrolling. I can do that. No? So how about reading your textbook? Huh? Okay, I know it's challenging, but practice it. Make it a habit. Okay? Okay, let's move to Okay, the respiratory system. What do you understand about the respiratory system? How does it contribute to homeostasis? Ano to sa revisit? The respite.
The blood, I think, so we inhale oxygen and oxygen through the lungs. And these oxygen are being carried by the blood. And then delivered into the different systems of the body. Thus, maintaining homeostasis.
Okay, so you can gist of it, no? The basic function of the respiratory system, of course, is breathing. No? What is breathing? It is inhaling, no? Air in, no? And breathing air out. So exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Okay? What we want to inhale. What do we need to inhale? What gas? Oxygen. Okay? Because our body needs oxygen. You learn that in biochemistry in cellular respiration. No? Why the body needs oxygen in order to produce ATP. No? In the electrochemical transport chain inside the mitochondria. Yeah, in the mitochondria, if I remember my biochemistry right, that's why we need oxygen. And what else? In breathing out, we exhale the waste product of metabolism, which is carbon dioxide. Diba? Kung ano siya, you will know, you will relate, no, later on, what you learned in biochemistry, but it's actually interconnected in physiology. Okay? Because the major product of metabolism, okay, cellular metabolism is carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is actually being excreted in the body through breathing out, no? Respiration, the process of respiration. Okay? And some later on that you will see, no, as we discuss renal physiology, no, some of the waste products like carbon dioxide will also be, no, excreted in another form, okay, through the urine. But majority will be excreted through in the form of carbon dioxide through respiration. Okay? And the expiration of carbon dioxide is important in maintaining the pH level of the body. What's the normal pH? pH of the body? 7, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5. So, can you see the narrow range of 0.10? Only. Okay? So, very crucial. It's very crucial for the body to maintain pH. Right? And that's one. No, one major function of the kidney. And as well as the respiratory system, the lungs. Okay? To excrete that, to maintain that pH level of the body. Okay, if there will be increase in pH, you will have acidosis. Okay, the increase alkalosis. If there's a decrease, acidosis. Diba? And it is actually detrimental to the body. Okay? Yes. Moving on. How about the gastrointestinal tract? How does it contribute to the maintenance of homeostasis?
Hello, I'm Philip Bahari. So the gastrointestinal tract contribute to the homeostasis or the equilibrium to the body to digesting and absorption of the nutrients. So this includes the carbohydrates, fatty acids, as well as the amino acids that you can digest or can get through the food that we eat, as well as the excretion or the waste product of the feces.
Okay, that's good, no? So basically, everything that we ingest will be digested, okay? And the nutrients, we need the nutrients as fuel, for our body, okay? Fuel for us to be able to do our work, okay? Our daily living, okay? So fuel from our food, everything that we ingest, will be digested through the respiratory, the gastrointestinal tract. It's there. Okay, you will learn about how each of the macronutrient, there is a mechanism for fat absorption, different from carbohydrate like glucose, lactose, fructose. Okay, and pamalayan macronutrients, protein. Okay, they have separate mechanisms, cellular mechanisms, on how they are actually being absorbed in the GI tract. Okay, so nice, GI physiology is actually nice. And at the same time, whatever is the excess, okay, will also be secreted, excreted, they will be excreted from the body. Okay, through the feces. Okay? Then next we have the accessory organ of digestion, which is the liver. The liver and other organs that perform primarily metabolic functions. What do you know about the liver? Yes. What's your name?
Not all the purpose not all of the patient that are covered in the national health some of it will go to the liver and then to make it more outward and then later and we can store it later on the energy and then it also the liver also helps them in detoxifying like chemicals that we
Alcohol, the red words and sunlight, what else? What do you want about anything you know more about the liver? That's correct.
I honestly know a little bit about the liver and its three bile and interaction forms. There's also going to be asking the bile is the waste of the liver and it will be transported through the GI tract or it will be released. And it will be like transported into it will be translated into waste and treated into the
Okay, some are correct. Okay, bile is actually produced from the liver. Okay, and stored in that's what you will learn in anatomy later on, no? Stored in, where is bile being stored? In the gallbladder. And then when is bile released? Okay, so bile is then released from the gallbladder when we ingest or eat some fats, anything containing fats, oils, the chicharron, you know chicharron? You should try chicharron. Very good. Are you vegetarian? No, what's your name? The pork? Then you should try, the chicharron and the lechon. Okay? So when you eat fatty foods or anything, any food that has fat components within it, in the form of, let's say, in oil, in cholesterol, then bile will then be released. Okay? There will be hormone, okay, that will aid in the release of the bile that will cause the contraction. Release of the bile, from the contraction of the gallbladder. Okay, and for veterans, if you remember that CK3 or cholecystokinin, okay, that the function of that hormone will, contract the gallbladder in order to release bile. And you will learn that it's exciting, those are the things that you will really look into the details on how it works, as we go to the different organ systems. Okay, so aside from that, again, detoxification. So everything, going back to the GI system, there is what we call portal tract system, So all the blood vessels in the GI will go first pass metabolism, and that happens in the liver. Okay, so everything we ingest, further broken down and then detoxified. Like for example, if we medicines, what we ingested, what else? Alcohol, for instance, okay? So detoxification also happens in the liver as well as, okay? Sige, next na po, what are the different anticoagulants that are being produced by the liver? Ano po coagulants? Clotting factors. Clotting factors. Okay, sige na. All that going much also clotting factors as well as proteins. Okay? Major proteins. And you have albumin. Okay? Right. And yeah, so much more to learn, but basically, you get the concept, and how that system works. Okay? Moving on, okay, so how does the musculoskeletal system actually helps in maintaining homeostasis? What do you think?
I'm thinking, so karaoke. So for musculoskeletal system, it aids in homeostasis because obviously we cannot have the energy to eat food without our muscles, and also it aids in protection.
Protection from harm. Okay, so if you're gonna move, if you're gonna use it, for example, like stroke patients, or those are paralyzed individuals, so they need another individual to help them in eating and when doing the works of daily living. Okay, so that also we need the work of our muscles, right? In order to reach, to walk, to what else? The diaphragm is one big muscle of respiration to breathe. Okay? So if we don't have that, if we have a non-functional musculoskeletal system, then we could not basic just like grabbing food, doing activities of daily living, and so much more. Okay? And again, protection, right? Protection provides motility for protection against adverse surroundings without which the entire body along with its homeostatic mechanisms could be destroyed. Example, zombie apocalypse, run, right? No? So people would help for you to survive, right? Okay, and the human race will still continue. Okay? So removal, so we talked about in the respiratory system, removal primarily of carbon dioxide. In the kidneys, okay, so what is, you know what, the kidneys will just, if you like see it, it's just like urine, no? But how intricate, no? The kidney produces that urine. There are plenty of mechanisms in order to produce that urine that you pee. Okay? And it all depends on your need, no? The body's need. Okay? If the body needs more water, if the body needs more sodium, okay? If the body has a lot of potassium, I need to excrete that. Okay? Thanks to your kidneys. Okay? And when the body needs more calcium or phosphate, the body will reabsorb what is being filtered. Okay? It's also exciting, no? Especially later on when you guys will proceed to nephrology. Okay? So the entire mechanism on how urine is being produced. Well, why sometimes we have a diluted urine and why at times we have a concentrated urine. Okay? So every mechanism, no? Okay, moving on, GI tract. Well, we talked about one, the liver. Okay, so removal of many drugs and chemicals. Okay, and then we also have our nervous system. Okay, to regulate all of the body functions. Okay, the control, no, like the CPU. Okay, we have our nervous system, our brain, and the different hormone system. What do you know about hormones? So far, in your college days, how does hormones work? Let's get the bit or nursing. Nurse should be fast. What's your key? Before we share us how hormones, what are hormones, and how it contributes to homeostasis.
Let's learn about the hormones. Hormones are significant. Hormones is our chemical messenger in our body. It contributes to whatever, just like it's lots of contribution, specifically in our pancreas. It's having an insulin, insulin. So insulin contributes to lower our blood sugar blood, and also we have our glucagon to make our sugar in our blood to be higher, and other than that.
Okay, so Cromwell, take an example of insulin. Everyone's familiar with insulin, no? So, nothing, everyone knows about what that is. So what is that hormone again? It's a hormone that is being produced by the body to facilitate the entrance of glucose inside the cell. That is correct. That's correct, okay? So, again, as mentioned, so hormones are actually chemical messengers. So our body works with different signals, messengers, and how it works, okay? So hormone is one, okay? There are some more, okay? Chemical messengers. So that chemical messengers will send a signal, it has the receptor in the cell, outside the cell. It depends on the hormone. It could be the receptor inside, outside, or along the membranes. So that hormone will bind to the receptor, okay? And for insulin, for example, it will now then send signals, inside the cell to put some doors, okay, in its membrane. Okay, that door, okay, I would just say door, okay, that door will then open, okay, or in order for glucose to enter inside the cell. Because the glucose, what signals insulin release? That is increased glucose level in the blood. Okay? So once the pancreas will sense that, we'll know more in detail. No? So once the pancreas will send that, it will put the mga proteins, okay? Channels, we call it protein channels in the cellular membrane, and it will then open, then glucose will enter inside the cell and then decreasing the blood glucose level in the body. Okay? So that's just one. You know, insulin is just one of the many hormones our body produces. Each hormone has its own function. Okay? What else? Thyroid hormone. Okay? What else? Adrenocorticotropic hormones. Okay? So hormones produced by the adrenal glands, by the pituitary, by the ovaries in females, and testes in the males. Okay? There are hormones testosterone, okay, estrogen, alright? And each of that has its own specific functions. And if you notice, there are actually plenty of disease conditions when hormones are deficient or if it is overproduced by the body. Diba? Thyrotoxicosis. Okay? That's one example. Hypothyroidism, when there is less thyroid hormones in the body. Okay? So, yan na siya. So, can you feel the medicine in you in this field? Okay? Right. Then we have immune system. Of course, if we are not protected, okay, our natural defenses in the body, we have innate and adaptive immunity. Okay? Innate, what do you understand about innate? We have our physical barriers, our skin, right? The tears, the mucus that is being secreted by the mucosal glands. Okay, those are part of the physical barrier, okay, of our body. In order, like for example, how even our body is being made, no? The anatomy of our body is really well planned, well designed. You know? Like for example, why is there hairs in our nostrils? Diba? So it's actually to trap bigger particles, and then if there are smaller particles that will go in, the first location, we have the hairs in our nostrils, and then as it goes into our pharynx, down to our trachea, we have different mucus. It being secreted with the lining epithelium of the trachea and the pharynx. Okay, and it also has the lining epithelium of the trachea as a cilia. I don't know if you still remember. No, cilia is like hair-like projections that would push the mucus out. That's why we cup. Diba? We cup the phlegm. We cup out the phlegm. And entrapped in that phlegm are the different particles. No? Smaller particles that we inhale. Okay? And even, right? Very designed here, no? The hygiene is really fine. Anyways, the body, our stomach, why does it produce acid? And that acid is really what's the acidity in the stomach? Three. That could actually blade, but I can say English. That metal blade, we call it blade. Razor, and razor is the metal one. So it's actually the acid in the stomach will digest that. Okay? And remember, what we eat, there are many, I don't know if you eat carbohydrate, do you prepare your own food? And even if you prepare your own food, there are still plenty, of microorganisms that we cannot see in our naked eye and be able to ingest, And then the first, the acidity in the stomach is actually part of our defenses. That those microorganisms will be dissolved with the stomach acidity. Okay? So that's just one. Immune system is a big topic. Okay? In human physiology. And then the integument. Okay? What's exciting about the integumentary system is actually evolving. Dermatology. Right, the kanang aesthetic medicine. Okay? If you want to be rich quickly, then dermatology with aesthetics. No, that's where the money, the both of the money, because there are people want to specialize in that field. Okay? It's a promising specialty because everyone wants to be good looking nowadays. Alright, so the integumentary system, okay, the epidermis, the dermis, accessory structures, the hair, the nails, okay, all of that. And there are specific microbiota or normal flora that actually protects our skin and it will not easily have infection. Okay? And what else? And also expression of some of the waste products. Okay, a little, like salt, through sweat. Okay? Pheromones. Do you know what pheromones? Pheromones, right? To like the scent that will attract, the opposite sex. Okay? For reproduction. What's the point in living if we don't, if we do not, okay, reproduce and continue the human race? Okay, so that's part now of in an overall homeostasis na mechanism. Okay, so reproduction, the continuity, okay, of our race. Okay, all right. Do you have any questions so far? That's just an overview, or just like in the tip of the really the physics, or just really looking into the overview, okay, of how each system works. Okay? So control systems of the body. Okay? So the body may operate within the organs to control functions of the individual parts of the organ. So throughout the body to control the interrelations between organs. So how do they control? There are actually control systems. So there is a mechanism on how the body regulates blood pressure. Okay? How the body regulates the oxygen or carbon dioxide concentration, in the extracellular fluid, all the rest. Okay, these are actually just examples. Okay, so let's say if the body has a lot of carbon dioxide, it accumulates, carbon dioxide. How does it work in order to remove the carbon dioxide? What do you think? The chocolate one in hyperventilation. Right. Chocolate qualities. Okay, just kidding. But we increase the rate of breathing. We hyperventilate in order to remove more of the carbon dioxide. Okay? So, but remember, kind of hyperventilation syndrome, like due to anxiety, what happens? They will have like spasmic, symptoms. They will feel some spasmic symptoms because there's already less of the carbon dioxide that the body is going into the state of alkalosis. We call it respiratory alkalosis. Okay, so now the shadow will feel the symptoms of tetany, contractions, okay, we can elicit with that in the ER. There are like some tetanic contractions as part of the symptoms because of hypocalcemia. Okay, so those are the things. And then, okay, and plenty more. Okay, we'll go to that. No, and you also have the function of hemoglobin as oxygen buffering, mechanism in our body. The different respiratory centers, okay, they help in the regulation of oxygen and carbon dioxide concentrations, okay, inside our body. And then here we have some example of the regulation of arterial blood pressure. So we have what they call this one, how would I say, sensors. Okay, our body has actually sensors that could detect, if the blood pressure is already beyond normal. Wala siya. It has sensors, and once the sensor will detect increase in blood pressure, it will then send signals. Okay? Just like this one. Okay? We have a reference set point. That's the normal. Okay? Then, this is the control center in our brain. If the brain is all the vasomotor centers, and if it sees a signal, such as for example, increase in blood pressure, okay? The error signal will be sent to the sympathetic nervous system, okay? And the effector, whatever is the response, okay? The effectors are now the blood vessels. So let's say, for example, there is a decrease in BP, so the hypotension. So the blood vessels will construct and the heart will increase its contractility, okay? In order to produce increase in blood pressure. Alright? Next time, I'll sit down for a while. Okay, so we have here the arterial control variable, which is the arterial pressure. Okay, then we have the baroreceptors and the sensor, and this is the feedback signal. Okay, so let's go back once again. For example, okay, blood pressure is increased. Okay, so the baroreceptors that are located here, okay, and here, these are the sensors in our body. The sensors will then send signals to the brain, okay, specifically to the vasomotor sensors. Then from that, it will send another signal going to the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so it will look into the error signal. The sympathetic nervous system will process it, okay, and will send its response. The effectors are the blood vessels and the heart. So what do you think if there is increase in BP? What does the heart, or how does the body compensate to that? For example, blood vessels will dilate and the heart will reduce pumping. Okay? In order for BP to go back to the normal, okay, range, the normal value. Right? So in one hand, okay, so that's how, this is just example of how the system or our different organs in our body works. Okay, and you will be learning all of that as we go. And there's plenty. That's why I really advise, before coming into class, read at least, you should be 1 to 2 chapters ahead. Okay? Modular requirement sample. Okay? In order for you to catch up in the discussion. Okay? So 1 to 2 chapters ahead. Agree? Agree na? Sige. I won't be in some meetings. I will be like giving you like short quizzes, okay? Assignment points to your assessments. Okay, so want to share one way I actually help students, to pass, okay, to cope up with some of their assessments, if they're having a hard time with their assessments. So one of them is if you're upset today, but if you're upset, make sure that you have a good grade because you don't need that extra points, right? Okay. So, but if you really need that extra points, okay, for you to pass, then it's a bonus if you will be passed, okay, and participate on some of the quizzes, right? Short quizzes, okay, mga pop-up quiz later on, okay. So I think this is taken from your textbook. Okay, you have done all of this. It's the important constituents and physical characteristics of the extracellular fluid. Okay, again, the different components. We have oxygen, carbon dioxide, sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, bicarbonate, glucose. Then we also have our body temperature and the acid base or the pH of our body. And if you could see, these are also some of the laboratory tests that we actually perform in the lab, right? Okay, some glucose, like sugar, okay, HbA1c, their normal value and normal range, okay, and the different units. Okay? So the body is in constant struggle, our body, to maintain, okay? To maintain all these levels in the range. Okay? Ingon ana, kalihok, no? Even out of our conscious control. But our body works to maintain this range of values. Okay? So, there are also some control mechanism. We have negative feedback loop. And this is where most of the body control systems works. So, negative to the, why is it called negative feedback? Because it's negative to the initiating stimulus. So, for example, if the stimulus is increased BP, so what is negative to the increased BP? It is decreased BP. So, yan na siya. It's as simple as that. Okay? Simple way to understand it. So, brings the control variable back to normal by taking it to opposite direction. Okay? That is one example there. Okay? Then here, no? We can read into that. Further details and the gain of system. So this is the extent to which the negative feedback reduces the steady state error caused by the disturbances is determined by a single parameter called the loop gain of systems. Okay? The loop gain of systems will tell you how much the body were actually able to correct the error. Alright? So this is how it is being computed, and I believe it's also found in your textbook. So for gain, in order for us to compute for the gain, it will be a computation between the correction value and the error value. Say for example, suppose the arterial BP rises from a normal level of 100. Okay, no, let's say that person has a normal BP of 100. Okay, up to 175. What's the normal BP in it? That's the average, 120 over 80, but what's the range? Systolic, it is 92, 160, with the stage 2 hypertension. It's a range one, 90 to 120, and then over 62, 90. Okay, okay. 88 is correct, okay? 60 to 80 is systolic, okay? So we have your systolic level of 175. So through the baroreceptor feedback system that I presented earlier, the one presented earlier, suppose the BP has corrected. So our system was able to correct 125. Okay? So from 175, it goes down to 125. But the normal really is 100 for that certain person. Okay? So we can understand that correction is not full and error is still persisting. Diba? Because how much is the error? 125 minus 100? Very difficult. 125 minus 155. So in this example, the correction of negative 50 when we subtract 175 minus 125, okay, millimeter mercury has occurred, and plus 25 millimeter mercury is still there. Okay, there's still an ongoing error of plus 25. Okay, so therefore, the gain of the person's baroreceptor system for control of arterial pressure is, what is the correction? Negative 50 divided by positive 25. Okay, gusto mo siya kanang algebra, so basic combination will give you a gain of negative 2. Diba? I don't know the rules of multiplication, division, and whatsoever na. Ito all numbers significant. So it's negative 2. Okay? Be mindful of even sign. Right? This is negative 2. Then that is the gain. Okay? There might be those questions in your assessment exam where you need to compute for the gain. Okay? Now, positive feedback. We have negative feedback, we also have positive feedback. But positive feedback is not very common because it will lead to a vicious cycle. Okay? And eventually lead to death. So, say, for example, there is a bleeding, diba? In here, okay, like a break or fear, wait, let's go back to that. Let's not focus on example first. So, in the initiating stimulus causes more of the same. Okay? It keeps the change going in the direction. It is already moving and produces more of the product that is accumulating. Okay? Leading to vicious cycle. So, for example, if the increase in BP will have a positive feedback or go to a positive feedback, no? What will happen? There will be further increase in BP. Okay? And we don't want that. Alright? That's why you want to show some of the things are, most of the things that are but those are things that are happening are working in, and the negative feedback. But there are some beneficial positive feedback. Okay? So the output enhances, exaggerates the initiating stimulus such as blood clot that would stimulate more clotting. Okay? Let's say for example here, the blood clotting is a positive feedback. So once when there is already a small clot, it will produce more of the clot until the entire wound is closed. Until the bleeding will actually stop. Alright? So here we have a break or tear that occurs in the blood vessel wall. The platelets adhere to the site and release chemicals. Okay? And then once the platelets that will adhere will create a platelet plug, okay, formation, then release further chemicals to attract more platelets. Okay? What other examples where positive feedback is actually beneficial? Okay? One thing is during labor, uterine contraction. So uterine contraction during the process of childbirth, you need no more of the contraction in order for the fetus or the baby, to get out, from the uterus. Okay, the suckling of the babies during lactation is actually under positive feedback control. And what else? Generation of nerve action potential. Okay, so blood clotting, the spike in estrogen, okay, the LH surge during follicular phase of the menstrual cycle that will cause ovulation. Okay, you will actually learn more about ovulation, in reproductive physiology. And the release of cytoplasmic calcium through ryanodate receptors during the excitation, contraction, uptake in cardiac muscle. Okay? So, as a comparison, in contrast to negative versus positive feedback, so you have it here. For positive feedback is the feedback mechanism resting in the amplification or growth of the output signal. Okay? So the output signal, you want to have more of that. Okay? And then for negative feedback, a feedback mechanism resulting in the inhibition or slowing, okay, of the slowing down of the process of that certain stimulus. So breakdown of the homeostasis of the system and then always maintain the conditions of homeostasis. This is less common, but occur in specific sensations and then occur more often in the body, helping to maintain the various conditions of the body. And then these are the examples and some other examples. Okay, for negative feedback. Alright? So the disadvantages of feedback are the compensation is generally incomplete. Okay? Responses may slow, okay, and incomplete, error may persist, and too much feedback causes instability. Okay, so giving it 100%, the body operates fully in negative feedback control and passive feedback control. There are more complex type of control systems such as feed-forward and adaptive control. What is feed-forward? Okay, so feed-forward control are sensory nerve signals from the moving parts that apprise the brain whether the movement is performed correctly. Okay? If not, the brain corrects the feed-forward signal that it sends to the end muscles the next time the movement is required. So it actually gives to more refined, okay, more accurate response to what is the signal, what the signal is. So if still further correction is necessary, this process will be performed again for subsequent movements that later on becomes an adaptive control. Okay? Or the adaptive control is also termed as delayed negative feedback. Okay? So this is actually more precise. No? Correction to the signal. Because it will take on the brain will process that signal, okay, and then correct it, okay, when the next thing will happen again. So feed forward control. So anticipates the disturbance and prevent the change in control variable by generating a corrective command that anticipates the changes in control variable. So the main system is creating a condition in anticipation. Okay? So feed forward in anticipation of the change will occur. So it is capable of overcoming the disadvantages of the feedback system. It will improve the speed of response. It will cancel the steady state errors and does not promote instability of the system. Example, thermal regulation. Okay? How the temperature, the body temperature is being regulated. So increase heart rate and respiratory rate even before the start of exercise due to psychic stimulation. So we anticipate that there is an anticipation, okay, that will already condition the body to have the response even before it is not occurring. Okay, we're not advanced somehow. I think that's the simplest way to say it. It likes an advanced reaction of the body to that certain stimulation. Okay? Alright. Then we have as well going to take note of the different physiologic variability. Okay? So there are sex differences, the age, there are different values for infants and for elderly. Okay? And also racial variability. Okay? So different races as well. Okay? Moving on. The automaticity of the control systems. So even if you're just sitting there, okay, wondering, your mind are wondering, okay, but all of these control systems are actually taking place. Okay, it's automatic. The body takes a social order of about 35 to 40 trillion cells, okay, with different functional structures, what we call organs. They contribute to its share to the maintenance of homeostasis in the extracellular fluid. Neural conditions are maintained, so we live and function properly. Okay? Continuous automaticity of the body until one or more functional systems will lose their ability to constitute their share of function. If it fails, if one organ fails, it will lead to sickness, okay, and eventually, it leads to death. Alright? And where do we, as doctors in the future, we wanted to intervene even before something fails. Diba? We don't just want to treat sick people. Alright? I am in tropical, so I would really advocate for prevention. Prevention really is better than cure. Okay? And especially to our healthcare system infrastructure here in the Philippines, where there is a discrepancy, and the number of healthcare professionals and the number of patients, you will just cry. Okay? It's really frustrating, in government facilities. If you will be working in there while this is going in the future, okay? It's really frustrating. And that's why in public health, we wanted to intervene even before something fails. Right? And you guys also, as medical students, that's what primarily, what we do, we educate, okay, other people. Okay, so that we live happily ever after. We live, well, okay, not just a short, I don't know if it's just me or it's also happening to you, but these right now are becoming downstairs next door later on. Okay? So, practice healthy lifestyle. And then sleep 8 hours per day. Oh no, okay, we'll try our best, we'll try our best, no? And then, so, okay, do you know the series? I'm watching that series. The Resident. Ay, Korean novela, so this is a resident, it's also very exciting, it's a journey for resident doctor in US. So, for you guys, if it were easy, everyone would be a doctor because this is the best job in the world, right? Save one's life. Okay? Who would not want to have that capacity? But despite everything, because of everything, so motivate yourself every day. Okay, not 2 to 3 chapters na, right? Kaya so at least 2 chapters ahead of schedule. Not only in physiology, but the rest of your subjects as well. And can you do it? Of course. But take this as an inspiration. No, just this year, our 71 years old student, okay, already graduated. You don't have any reason at all not to study. Okay, your brains are functioning very well. Okay, 71. I don't know if I'm still alive at 65. Right? So, take every opportunity that you have. Opportunity to have this, and you will finish it. No reason to procrastinate. Challenge accepted. Okay. See you again next week. Do you have any questions? None? Okay, 2 chapters.